that when we go to sleep, we have the nutrients we need broken down in the right form, small enough to get in the cell. The protein you eat needs to be broken down by your digestive system. The amino acids have to be broken down small enough to get in the cell. So any given day, if you don't have the right nutrients that are broken down to the right subcomponents, those cells are going to be born with birth defects. And some cells will be completely dead. So if the baby cells are born without all their nutrients, the cell can still function, but it's going to be defective. There's not a test in the world that can show us that the cell is defective. They're still going to work, but they're just not as strong as we might want them to be. So what happens is one day the doctor tells you have so many defective cells born, the doctor will say you have autoimmune disease. And autoimmune disease is not your body attacking your good cells. That's not true. It's like you have so many defective cells, there's not a test that shows it, and they still function, we still work, we're just weaker, but we finally have so many built up, the body's attacking those good cells, and autoimmune goes away if you rebuild your body properly, if you feed your body properly.
So it's, yeah, and it's so to the point of the food, it's not just what you're eating, but it's also these supplements, correct? The Weltrients then will feed and nurture these cells so that they have what they need to regenerate.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like an iceberg under the water. If you birth too many defective cells, they're doing their job, and you don't really know anything's wrong until the iceberg peaks. Once you have a symptom, you have billions and billions of defective cells. So you want to remember that one of the secrets to life, our cells work by energy and by nutrients. But start with remembering that our Earth's crust is not created equal. So foods that come from our Earth are not equal. We don't know what it's missing. So if you have your own organic garden and eat fresh food from it, whatever nutrients were missing in the soil will be missing in your body unless you supplement. And then add, most of us struggle with our digestive systems. If they were operating perfectly, we could break the nutrient down to a small enough form that the cell could pick up. But it just doesn't happen. Like people that take L-carnitine for their heart, when that cell goes around the body at night looking for the missing nutrient, if you take L-carnitine, that won't fit in the cell. It has to be acetylcarnitine. It has to be broken down further. Pyridoxine has to be pyridoxal 5-phosphate. You have to understand the form the cell can use and pull in. It's like in our world, we have so much toxicity that these nutrients from the food we eat aren't assimilable, or nutrients we take from a bottle don't assimilate. So I found in my journey from using lots of supplements that Weltrients for Life has the most complete, balanced, assimilable products that I have seen in the world today. And I don't say that lightly. And I continue to stay open to anyone who may have something better. I would be happy to look at it, but to this day, I haven't even seen anything close. With Weltrients, the formulas have all the right ingredients that I look for in the right form. Dr. Bill has dedicated his life to helping people nutritionally, and I trust him. So when I try and compare Weltrients with other formulas, some people might have a single ingredient that looks good, one or two ingredients that are quality, but then they have other ingredients in it that are in a generic form that you'd find at a store. And even though it might look good, like folic acid, your body can't assimilate that hardly at all. I mean, you need methylfolate, and most people know that. And vitamin B needs to be methylcoagulated. So when you get a generic form, it just clogs your body and overburdens your liver. So it's like you look at your vitamin bottle, and it says additional ingredients. Why do you have stearic acid in your vitamin? Magnesium stearate. It's like that's a toxin, but they say we can handle a little bit of a toxin, and they need it in order to make in the factory. It helps the capsules slip through a lot easier when it's added to the factory equipment, so it ends up on all the vitamins, so it ends up in your body. So, if you're a very sick person and you're trying to eliminate toxicity, you're adding toxicity in your vitamin, but they say it's so little it doesn't matter, but we combine all the little bits from everything else. I mean, there's just a whole lot of other additional ingredients that are toxic along with that, or even let's say someone puts a rice filler in it. Well, why do you need a rice filler? Why do you need a filler? Why do you need a coloring? Because people don't like that the supplement might change colors. But that coloring is usually toxic. Or the rice filler, it's not necessary. It's just taking up room that you could put more nutrients, pack more nutrients in. You know, I don't even eat rice. Why do I want it in my supplement? Or if I'm going to have something like that, maybe I'm going to enjoy it. So Dr. Bill is just very, very meticulous that every piece, every crumb of the nutrient is broken down in a form the body can use. And not just broken down, but it has to be balanced. When that cell is circulating around the body and it sticks up that hormone signal and it goes to grab the missing nutrient, if you don't have the cofactors and you don't have the nutrient broken down to a small enough molecule and it doesn't get into the cell, you know what? It's going to go back to the liver and burden your liver. And who of us doesn't struggle with toxicity in our liver? So Dr. Bill is careful about breaking down every piece, not just the B12, not just the folic acid. You know, a great example is his coenzyme B formula that most of us could use in life. The B vitamins every piece of them are in the best coenzyme form possible. And that's important because at any given time, we don't know what part of our body is going to require the cofactors for the B vitamins in order to do their job. But by having it broken down closest to where you need it, we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about the broken down processes failing. And our body, different pieces of our body, you know, fail regularly. You know, we have to break it down to assimilate. So even if your body fails, it will work. One of them is B1. Most companies use thiamine for B1. And thiamine doesn't work very well. It's not broken down. It's a very cheap generic form that often clogs their body. So Welltrance uses benfotiamine throughout their product line. And benfotiamine's really important as we age. You know, we need it for our nervous system. It's the only form of B1 that can get to the essential areas in our peripheral nervous system. And thiamine requires cofactors to work in most places. So one of the deficiencies we have is getting the cofactors to the thiamine at the same time, but benfotiamine carries the cofactors with it. It's much better than any other form of B1. So we take these vitamins, we're taking this thiamine thinking we're getting B1, but it's not assimilable. It's not going to get in. So then if it doesn't get in, it's going to clog our body. And we have enzymes. Everything requires an enzymatic process. And that enzyme, you know, hopefully you're not getting it from porcine or a gland. We have plant enzymes that help with every body process. And probiotics. We know that we have trillions of bacteria in our body that are responsible for many important processes. Our Welltrance flora has a group of bacteria intermixed, and we know it can get to the various points in the intestine. And when it gets there, it has the ability to do its job. Then it becomes the stellar for the other various probiotics in our gut that are dependent on it. And did you know that our immune system signaling starts in the small intestine near the appendix? And it takes, yep, and most of our signaling comes from there. So it takes a very specific group of bacteria in that exact place to trigger the right signaling. It depends on those particular bacteria to be there. And for that to happen, what if you recently lost your bacteria and your immune system doesn't get those triggers that would normally go by the intestine? So it's a very late stage of probiotics in the intestine, not early. Early stage is the kind you get from yogurt. And if you eat too much yogurt thinking you're getting the right kind there, you know, you're getting that acidophilus, but you're pushing it further in because you're getting too much of it, because you're eating it every day thinking that's what you need, and it's pushing out the kind that you need near the appendix that triggers your immune system. So that reminds me about, probably need to end here. It looks like I'm losing my time, but I have an incredible client named James that was just so miraculous. He's in Dallas, and he was about 38 when a lifetime of illness culminated in his immune system crashing. And the Dallas immunologist told him they could prolong his life only by giving him IV immunoglobulins every 3 weeks. So for the next 12 years, he had to get his IVs just to stay alive. And they told him he would not live long. Eventually, a virus or bacteria would overcome, and since his own immune system could not work, and they said it would never work. There's nothing he could do. So he was still sick, but he was alive, and he would get these IVs every 3 weeks. So when he came to see me, he didn't believe it would work, but he was desperate enough to try anything. It's been 2.5 years now, that he stopped his last immuno infusion. His body has successfully regenerated his own immune system after working with me, and it works phenomenally well. The top immunologist telling him, your body can't regenerate. It's like, that's crazy. It's like, it's 2.5 years. He hasn't needed an IV, and he won't need one. He has
Not as long as he does what you tell him to do. That's right.
Yep. If we give our immune system what it needs, if we take care of our bodies, we don't have to live in fear with all these viruses going around. Yeah.
That's right. So give us again, because I'd love for our listeners to reach out to you. So tell me where they can learn more about you, the work that you do, and where they can find the nutrients.
You can go to quantum-health.us, and there's a place where you can connect with me. And if you don't care to go to the website and connect there, my email is janine@quantum-health.us. And if you go to the Welltrients link on my website and would like to look at Dr. Bill's Nutrients Welltrients, and you set up your own account, if you put in Hello Gorgeous 10, you will get an automatic discount on your first order. Or you're welcome to connect with me and I can help guide you through that. I give free 20-minute consults to first-time people.
Awesome.
You can do that through the website.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Janine. I so appreciate you taking the time to be with me today. Reach out to us at hellogorgeous.org if you have any questions. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to HG Radio, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. Here is your co-founder and host, Kim Becker.